Hello and welcome to the Three Men and a Movie podcast. My name's Michael.
My name's Richard.
And my name is Gareth.
Today we're going to be talking about A Nightmare on Elm Street, the remake, unfortunately.
Wicked.
So, a little bit about the movie. It came out in 2010. It was directed by first-time feature director Samuel Bayer.
Well known.
Well, he's very well known in the music video industry. He's
That's
been
always
going
a
for
good sign,
years.
I find. If they're
When-
good at music videos, they're good at films. That's true, isn't it?
When you say very well known, do you have
Nirvana.
did you mean other movies?
No, I was
No,
joking.
okay, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And it's got Jackie Earle Haley, Rooney Mara, and fuck me, Clancy Brown.
Clancy.
I didn't
fucking
even know
Brown.
he was going to be in it.
I said I was not going to swear in this, but for
Oh,
Clancy
you've done
Brown, I'll do it.
You made about 30 seconds, so well done.
Okay, so this movie came out in 2010 to not very good reviews.
Universal acclaim.
And there's a good reason for the not very good reviews. But I must admit, I didn't watch it when it came out. I watched it specifically for this podcast. And it was better than I thought it was going to be. That doesn't mean it was a good movie. All right, so first off, we're going to talk about the director Samuel Bayer, who waited 20 years to make his feature debut and turned down this movie twice. But Michael Bay talked him into doing it.
Oh, yes.
Right?
Michael Bay has a silver tongue.
Well, there's a good fact about this movie I'll throw in now.
Please do.
The studios wanted to turn this film into a 3D extravaganza,
Oh,
and it's Michael Bay who said no, of all people.
Oh, that's
But
interesting.
I thought right at the end of production they were going to try and convert it into 3D.
Yeah,
They
and he
stopped
did.
that as well.
It was Michael Bay that stopped it.
because there's a couple of scenes where you can see they wanted to do it.
Are we sure this isn't
Definitely.
some kind of surrogate Michael Bay that doesn't...
No.
It's probably
Michael
one of
Bay.
his love childs. You'll probably see on the Transformers films somewhere producer Sam
Actually,
Bay.
there wasn't any longing shots over women in bikinis in this. Are we sure Michael Bay had anything to do with it?
It was his production company, not his
I
actual
thought he was
hands-on.
wasn't he the producer?
No, he might have been, but it might have been. It was part of his Platinum Doom
Platinum
studio.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But yeah, he talked him into doing it, so he done it, and he hasn't made a feature film since.
He must have put in a good word with the studio then, because why would you hire someone who's not done any films?
Because he is that acclaimed for quite a lot of his music
I think
videos.
it was directed quite well, but we'll get onto it when we go in depth. But I think there were some scenes which were quite...
Now, there's two writers,
Effective.
Wesley Strick and Errol Heisner. I want to talk about Wesley for a minute. Wesley's written some really good movies, including a good remake, Cape Fear.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He also done the original script for Arachnophobia, which is a great film,
Yes.
but did he do the final shooting script? Because the original script was apparently not very funny.
Oh,
He done Wolf with Jack Nicholson, very underrated werewolf movie.
I don't know.
I've not seen that.
Really?
Maybe we should do that.
Have to dig
A
that
bit of
out.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sold.
And Final Analysis. But he also done Doom and The Saint.
I love Doom.
I
I have no
like-
issue with Doom.
like Doom more than I should, probably.
Yeah, I don't mind Doom.
It's not Doom though. I'm just
Anyway,
throwing out.
The Rock is
Alright.
a demon.
Right, anyway.
Anyway, produced under Platinum Dunes, Michael Bay's studio, the most powerful production companies, well, top 30 it was done, who've done some classics as, get this guys,
Here we go.
the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake,
Okay,
Which
yeah.
was a good film.
Yeah.
the Amityville Horror remake,
Is that the
Oh.
Ryan Reynolds
Yes.
remake? Oh.
I own that. Oh,
the Hitcher remake,
with Sean Bean.
and just to put a point in, the Hitcher is one of my favourite movies.
The remake, yeah?
No,
Oh,
the
obviously.
Rutger Hauer one.
Oh, I think I have both.
Friday the 13th remake.
I didn't mind that.
Now, technically, he's done some good ones as well. Now, the Page movies, which were okay
Oh,
for
yeah.
what they were.
I enjoyed
Yeah,
the
yeah.
original. A lot of people say the sequels are better. I think I enjoyed the original.
The second one is definitely better, but the first one's still really good.
The Teenage Mutant Ninja Tales movies,
Oh. Which
And
ones? You mean the newer one?
the
Yes,
newer ones.
yes.
But the first one, I've watched the first one, and I enjoyed it a lot more than I should have, because I went in wanting to
Oh,
hate
the
it.
second one is so
I didn't
grim.
watch it. Now, they've also done a couple of good, well, a good movie, A Quiet Place, came out.
Amazing,
I
yeah,
haven't
that is
seen it.
amazing.
I
I can't believe
haven't
you've not
seen
seen
it.
that yet.
All right, and now let's talk about the stars. Jackie Earle Haley, great actor, hands down the best thing in Watchmen, Rorschach.
I think he's probably the best thing in this.
I was just about to say he's definitely the
But
best.
I
thing.
find he was very stunted. There was no need to even get him because he was underused so much.
But I think what he did in the film was incredible.
Okay, let's
Okay.
Rooney
we'll
Mara.
We'll get onto that.
I like Rooney Mara. I think
But
she was
She
good
nearly
in this.
quit acting after this. 'Cause
Yes.
she
Yeah.
hated it that
She
much.
does not talk of her experience on this film favourably.
No. Clancy Brown,
Clancy Brown, enough
brilliant.
said,
The
enough said.
Kagan. Now, I liked the way the first half of the movie, well, the first quarter of the movie was for. We were following Katie Cassidy around,
Chris,
and then she
the
got
character
killed.
Chris,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, that reflected like they did in the first one.
Yes. Because in the first one, Wes Craven was trying to do a Psycho where he switched it round halfway through. Yep. And we got Connie Britton as the mum. God, she looked bored.
Yes, because I really like her in American. The first one, season 1, American Horror Story.
That's it, yeah, American Horror Story, yeah.
She's really good in that.
Yes.
And when she popped up, I was like, bam, here we go. And then she literally sleepwalks, ironically, I thought. I really did that line. Anyway.
And Thomas Dekker as well, obviously
he's,
from Terminator, Sarah Connor Chronicles, quite frame.
Was he Quentin?
No, Quentin was the other lead guy.
He was Jesse, wasn't he?
Yeah,
that's it.
And the guy that plays Quentin, Kyle Gallner, who I normally don't like, but I think he was the best thing in
Is he
this.
the one that didn't sleep for 3 days?
Yeah, that's right.
Do that scene in the library or something.
Yeah,
he didn't sleep for 3 days purposely.
Yeah, he was the best thing in the movie, I thought.
Okay, we'll get on to that.
So I didn't watch this when it came out in 2010, mainly because I was looking forward to it at first. Saw the cast, I was like, yeah, this is good, and then everyone just said, no, it's just a bunch of one-liners, and they skipped everything they said they would do. But then for this podcast, I decided to watch it with my friends. I watched it on my own, actually. And I paid money for it. Not happy.
What was it? It won it £2, though.
Well, it was £7.49, but £7.99, but I had a £5.49 voucher.
Bonus.
Yeah, so it wasn't too much.
I paid £9.99 on release date for the DVD.
I do not own this film.
You borrowed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I borrowed it.
I think I went to see this at the cinema.
Oh, right.
I'm a massive fan of the original series, even when it delves into parody near the end. There are a few terrible entries, but I can still enjoy them. So I thought, when this popped up, I thought, why the hell are they doing that to my Freddy? But I still went to see it. And then it happened.
So let's start around the room. Gaz, what did you think when you were watching it? What were your first thoughts?
My first thoughts were, after seeing it and looking on ratings sites, I thought it was better than people give it credit for, but it has some flaws. And if you're looking at it as a remake, which is what they were doing,
yes,
comparing it to the very, very first one, it does not stand up very well at all.
Doesn't. It could have been a totally separate movie and just changed the character, because they changed the initial character that much.
Yeah,
I felt it didn't relate much to Freddy.
because in my mind, a remake does it better. It's supposed to do it better, or that's the idea, but they did not. They trod all over the first film and
They trod all over the legend, yeah. Richard?
Well, I have 10 pages of notes. How do you want to do this? Do you want me to go through? I've got them literally in the order I watched it.
We're just going to go through different subjects. It's just your first feelings after watching it now.
There's no point to this film.
Yep.
There's literally no point.
Okay.
They didn't make it better. Any scene better. Any scene they tried to copy, it wasn't any better. It was worse. I mean...
So throw in what do you think about the bit on the wall, Richard?
Oh, that is just generally awful.
If you're going to remake something years later, I thought the effects were going to be better.
CGI was... And the bit... They
did it was late 90s CGI, wasn't it?
He creeped over Nancy, didn't he? Say, I can live with that. And then they did that bit...
That side-on bit, wasn't it? Yeah.
I've seen graphics on the PlayStation 1.
I don't know why I'm moving my hands around, there's no camera, but side on, and I nearly left the room. Yeah. And I was just in my own living room.
That was a WTF moment for me on that one. I was like...
Really, up until that point, I was kind of like, this film's not that bad. But from that point onwards, it's just drops.
I'm with you then, because I was like, this isn't actually as bad as I remember. And that happened, I was like, just leave me alone.
I was pleasantly surprised in parts. What I think, though, is talking about the effects. You know, the first death at the beginning, the neck cut.
That was really good.
Oh, yes, yeah, that was really good.
Yeah, but didn't you think the neck should have been open a little bit more to make it a bit more gruesome?
The way he was kind of holding the knife and then jammed it in, because it was a good, 3-inch blade on that, easily. So the way he jammed it in, and it was
pulled it
up to the hilt,
and
then, there probably should have been more, but I suppose...
Maybe, but it was an excellent kill.
And you could tell from the first dream sequence in the kitchen, you could tell it was a music video director.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
I know what you mean. I know exactly what you mean. And I thought that one of my main complaints, dream sequences, they were all the same.
Well, if you remember the original movies, the dream sequence are all characterised on the dream they were in, the person,
Yeah,
their
yeah.
character.
Yeah, especially, I don't know if the original, as much was it? I can't remember.
20 years since I saw the original.
I think the original, it was mainly set in the, his cellar, like this one was. But because we've had, and then everyone after that, especially the Dream Warriors,
yes,
that they were literally what
all
they thought they
psychologically
were.
linked to
Yeah.
their characters,
Yeah.
which is brilliant. Which was one of the best things about the sequels, the way they'd done that bit, I thought. But I found all the dream sequences, they were a bit bland to me. It didn't mark itself out that much.
One thing I found, I'm probably jumping a little bit ahead, is for a good portion of the film, probably a good third of it, the music practically non-existent. It's there.
There was a slight hint at the beginning, wasn't there?
Yeah.
And then it seemed to.
The
And then I
first-
didn't notice it right
The
away
opening
through.
credits, where it's kind of like that really sort of creepy school
Ding,
nursery
yeah,
kind of thing,
yeah.
I thought that's really good. But after that, after each scene, I was like, where was the music there?
Mhm.
It was
I
so
thought,
forgettable.
I don't know. I've got right on. First thing I noticed, the credits to start. I thought the music was rubbish. So I disagree with you there. I thought the music was
Interesting.
completely forgettable. It tries to be almost the same as the Nightmare on Elm Street theme, but it isn't.
And it was
So-
short, that
so,
as well.
so
very
why
short.
not just use the original theme if you're going to make it so much like it, but not it?
Can't fix an unbroken thing.
Well, as with many things in this film, they tried to take the original and then put their own spin on it.
Yeah, but I've got a little bit about that a little bit later on that one. There's something I saw in that made me go, this is going to be brilliant, and then they just forgot about it. So, what do you think of the other effect? While we're on effects, let's talk about the main thing. Although the Freddy's image was supposed to be more realistic, I think that it lost its iconicness.
I mean, it's supposed to be look like a burn.
Yes.
Which is what Freddy is. Used to seeing Freddy in a specific way. I don't
Yeah.
like that. Maybe if this had been the first Freddy, it wouldn't have bothered me so much. I just didn't like it.
Spanner in the works. I'm not going to say I liked it more than what they did with the original, but I kind of liked it.
No, I'm not saying it's
I like the
bad.
way it looks,
I'm
yeah.
just saying it lost its iconicness.
Maybe I
Yeah, exactly. He's not Freddy anymore. He's just a Burns victim.
well, I see what you mean. I think, but I still think it was.
Because don't forget, it was
Good.
Freddy's pure evilness, son of 1,000 maniacs,
Yeah,
that was holding him together.
yeah.
Exactly. Well, yeah, that was what followed him.
Yeah, but it fitted into the lore of the
Well, if
If
original
you're
one.
going to fit it into the law, yeah, he has to kind of look the same, doesn't he?
I like the way they went with it, and
I understand
think
why they went
it-
that way, and I
it
think it
marred-
looked good, but
how Freddy looks. I think it.
I mean, I
did
think
well.
we've got to be thankful that Michael Bay didn't do Michael Bay and say, make it CGI.
yeah, a lot of apparently
Even took
90% of the face was
Prosthetics,
real.
yeah.
And there was,
Prosthetic.
they used some CGI beneath the screen.
Yeah,
But that's fine. If
they got the same guys they used for the Dark Knight in for that.
Yes,
Oh, nice.
the same person who did Two-Face.
Oh, excellent! Oh, brilliant! Yeah, that's good then. Yeah, because that did look good, as we can all
See,
agree.
I read on IMDb the main
Inspiration.
was the Dark Knight. I was like, well, surely the main inspiration is the first
The early 2010s, everyone was going after that
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of
that kind of effect.
bring
Yeah.
realism world and bring in an unrealistic thing and make it fit in a realistic world. That was what I think they meant with that. Everyone was trying to do it back then because the Dark Knight got it spot on, and it really spoke to the audiences on that one.
So to summarise on that point, then I think I probably went the wrong way, and I thought you were saying it looks bad, but you're not.
I don't mean to look bad. I think it lost
You-
its iconicness.
Okay, yeah, okay. I
He
agree
looked-
to an extent.
He looked
there,
like a
yeah.
Burns victim. He didn't look like a dream demon.
Yeah,
If that makes
yeah,
sense.
yeah.
It looked like something that could be real, but at the same time not demonic.
I kind of like it in a story where someone is attacking you in your dreams. It sounds bizarre to say it made it a little bit more realistic.
Yeah.
For,
Exactly.
Yeah.
But like you said, there were points because that's apparently how they were going to make him look originally. They couldn't do it. They wanted to make him look like a realistic burn victim in the original movie. It just couldn't be done back then.
Yeah, but I think I'm with you because we know what Freddy looks like. So they're doing a Halloween, not remake, but it's like a sequel to the original, aren't they? This year?
Yes, yeah.
And they're using Michael Myers, the mask. It's like if you change that mask because you're remaking Halloween. Even there's Rob Zombie Halloween films. It was the same mask. He still is Michael
Good old William
Myers.
Shatner.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's Michael Myers. This isn't Freddy.
I said, no, I know where you're coming from. Now, Jackie was contracted for 3 movies. Rooney Mara was contracted for 2. Up to this point, there's still no announcement
They're
for the
still
second
waiting,
one.
aren't they?
Yeah.
So they're still contracted, so they're still waiting.
I thought I'd heard someone say they were going to do it again. That was probably a couple of years ago, but then it just dropped off the radar.
They did a
whatever
short
happened.
film at
Yeah.
the start of this year, but I didn't watch that.
Was that that wasn't that was a fan made one though,
Yeah, it
wasn't
was
it?
a fan made one. It wasn't. That's the
Probably still
nearest
bad.
they've got, I think.
So let's get on to the reckon. What did you think?
It tried the directing. I was trying to compare it as much as possible to the first one, and in the first one, there's a lot of when the characters are on screen, they fill a good portion of the screen, and you got a little bit of stuff outside of them, so it's really centered on the characters. And at the start of this one, it did that, but like everything else, it then just went away and did its own little thing with each scene. So it was okay. The directing. I'm not a good judge of cinematography and anything like that, but for the majority of it, it looked good the way it was framed and everything like that.
I could definitely tell it was a music video director. That's not a diss or
Well,
anything.
I
They're
think-
playing
And
to
you
their
could-
strength, isn't it? I
yes,
suppose.
yeah.
That is one of the things I disliked about it. It was too glossy and shiny. It looked because it wasn't grimy. The first one. It was a Wes Craven film. It wasn't like Last House on the Left. There, it was a film.
Yeah.
But it just looked a bit too glossy and new. This
Well,
one.
I used to think that was all to do with what we watched it on, VHS, CRT. But I bought movies from back then on full HD, DVD, Blu-rays,
Yeah.
and I've watched them on what we call decent TVs now. And they've still got that feel you're talking about. It's not just what it was filmed on. There is a different feel
Yeah.
to it.
I
Yeah.
think it didn't help. Like the first person, the teen you see, Dean, isn't it? The moment I saw him,
He doesn't have a lot of time, to be fair, to
That's true.
do
Yeah,
anything.
the moment you see him, like broad-shouldered, I'm had enough already.
And he hadn't actually looked like he'd been up for 3 days. You know what I mean? He
Yeah.
didn't.
It looked like he got a bit of makeup on.
It's just a bit moody. It was just a bit moody. That was all.
That's the thing. The teens in the first film, the first original film, I loved all of them. I didn't want.
They were all different. All
I
had their own
didn't want
characters.
them to die, which is the wrong way. And that's the problem with horror films these days. I think in general, and teens are so annoying. You just want them to be.
I don't know if it's that, but they don't seem to spend the time anymore getting
No,
to know
but that's
them.
the thing. You don't know their character. They're just they're just that person. I mean, if you look at Friday the 13th, I think they're slightly different because you watch that just to see Jason run amok. But especially on the first nightmare, I'd say the third nightmare and the seventh nightmare, I wanted people to survive.
We don't talk about number 2.
No, we did. We could do 3 podcasts on that homoerotica, but we're not going to. But that I want my horror film victims. I want to when they die. I want to go. Oh no, yes, which I did for a lot of this film, especially that first bloke. I was like broad-shouldered teen. It's Nightmare on Elm Street for the Twilight generation, and I'm out.
Just going back slightly to the way it was directed, and again, I'm going to keep comparing it to the first. And I don't.
Well, it's
It's a remake. I'm going to keep doing it.
I think is it? Well, yeah, it's
a
you should do
reimagining. You
it.
say
Yeah.
now,
No, you
don't we?
should
But
do it, and you should compare it. But you are comparing it to my favourite director, Wes Craven, who was a master of his art. Let's be honest.
he's made 1 or 2 good ones, I suppose.
That's the thing. How do you? It was never gonna be.
He was an author in his own. It's like you won't get a director that has the same feel as him anymore. I don't
No.
think.
And this is probably a point I should have bring right at the end. But this is why this film should never have been made. There was never a need.
No, not at all. It was all to do with the title. To
Yeah.
make money on it,
Yeah.
as usual, which is
Never
what a
is.
remake and a reimagine's about. If people cared about movies, remakes would be remakes of movies that were crap or didn't make
True,
enough
yeah,
money.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
They only remake good movies for the money.
That's a good one. I've never thought of it that way. That is a really good point. In the first one, the lighting, it's dark,
But you
but
can
you can
see-
see everything. If that doesn't
Yeah,
make sense.
no,
but you know
it's
what I mean.
it's lit and correct. This one was all lit evenly.
Yeah,
This one was lit. The original was lit. It had its own character.
that's right. Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, I thought there was a good use of colour in that first scene. I didn't mind when they're in the diner and you could tell it was a dream straight away.
Yeah.
Because of the reds and greens. I didn't mind that use of lighting, but I know what you mean.
I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing that in this one you knew exactly where the Dream Seekers had started and ended. Well, obviously
There
ended.
was an introduction to the dream sequence and there was an ending to the
Yeah,
dream sequence.
But in the
It was
first
like
one, it
there
was
was a
kind of blurred a
flash.
little bit.
Some of them were like,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But for the directing, it was good enough, I think. But
he was a director for hire with a pre-written script
Yeah.
by a studio that does a lot of remakes. I think he
he didn't have a lot of free reign, really.
I don't think he did on this one.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I think he did probably as best as what he could. I
Yeah.
don't think. I mean, even look at the films I've watched. I mean, you say if you say ABP Requiem, that direction is beyond. It's just
Someone
awful.
forgot to pay the lighting bill in that movie.
Exactly, and you look at something like that, and you look at this, and they are poles apart. so we can't be too hard on the direction.
No.
You could see everything that was going on. You could hear everything that was being said. It was shot okay, and there were some really good shots in there, which I'll come to later.
Yeah, I've got a good scene I want to talk
Yeah,
about.
So,
I've got one good scene I want to talk about.
so he did the best what he could.
Can we call that the subtitle of this film? Nightmare on Elm Street. They did the best with what they could.
They did the best of what they could. Yeah, no.
I do honestly believe everyone who went into it with the right intentions. I do, because the director, he apparently already he'd waited 20 years to find a movie he wanted to do his feature debut in,
Yeah.
and he got talked into this. The writers, they seemed all right. They've done some really good work, some good studio work. Not going to give you Doom though, Richard. I don't like that. All right.
It's just
But-
the rock. I love his pecs.
I
Super.
Please.
like that film.
But I like it, but not as a Doom movie.
No. But
No,
it's
it's
just
not
a regular
movie, apart
film.
from that last
We keep
10
going back to
minutes of the
Doom.
first-
Oh, the first person.
Shall we do Doom?
We are going to do Doom.
We are.
Doom is next.
Doom is next.
Doom is next.
So, let's no more talk about Doom. I'm going to have a Doom alarm where I'll just start doing that.
So, I've got a question. Now, with this movie, what did you think of the deaths? Did you find them a bit bland and a bit lacking brutality?
I like the one where he put his hand right through it.
That was because
And that was almost like it was made for 3D, that bit.
that's one of two scenes I
Yeah.
can recall that were
I
definitely
didn't mind
3D.
that. But yeah, I like that whole scene actually. We'll get to it, but I like that whole
Yeah,
scene.
it did sort of shock me a little bit because they are in that sort of
Was
boiler
it brutal
room.
for you, or just really quick?
Brutal and quick because
Do you
the
think?
way his hand just.
I think that was the
Shot
most
right
brutalist
through
one
it.
of them all, yeah.
Yeah.
And then he goes, "Did you know that the human brain stays alive for
Love
7
that
minutes
bit.
after the heart
Absolutely
stops?"
Yes,
love
that was
bit.
my
We-
favourite scene.
We've
That's
got
my favourite scene.
we've got another 6 minutes to play.
Love that.
That
was
was
great.
brilliant scene.
See, that then goes back to Jackie O'Haley. Incredible in this film. He's an incredible
We'll
actor.
argue about
I
that
think he's an
later.
incredible
Yeah.
actor. I don't think he had much to
No.
work with on this.
No.
But he did incredible in this film.
No, well,
And his voice, oh.
Well, there were points where I really
The voice
liked
was
his voice.
voice
digitally
was-
changed.
Yeah, there were
Good.
points where you.
So was Christian Bale's in The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, but by the time you Dark Knight Rises, I can't understand
Yes,
the word
he-
he said, but that doesn't matter. But his voice was great in some points. I've actually written on my notes, great voice. And then the next scene, I don't like the voice. It's almost like sometimes they messed with it so much digitally, it made it otherworldly. Now I know Freddie is otherworldly, but just like it wasn't like he was speaking anymore.
It was
goes-
intimidating, and that's how I think the voice should be.
It goes to show how well Robert England did with that part in
Yeah,
the original
yeah.
one.
Because he didn't have any digital
He
effects
did
on his
pass the
voice.
torch though.
He
He
did,
did,
he did, he
yeah,
did.
and he
But
did
don't
say-
forget, that was before he saw the movie or read the
Yeah,
script. He
yeah.
passed the torch to the actor, not to the movie.
Yeah, didn't you like his performance in Watchmen? I think that's
Watchmen
Who
and
didn't? Who
the
didn't?
other.
Oh, exactly.
You guys forget, I'm not stuck in here with you. You're not stuck in here with me.
Goosebumps. Let's think
Oh, I
about
love
that.
that film.
Oh, I love it so much.
Another film I actually think they improved on the comic.
Oh, I went into that completely blind. I didn't know it was based
I've
on
done
the
both,
comic.
yeah. So we
I've got no comic. Yeah, the comic is quite slow.
now let's.
Well, sorry, just going back to the deaths.
Yes.
They obviously tried to
Mimic.
mimic. Sort
I
of
was gonna,
pay tribute
I think
to
I know
the
what you're gonna
first
talk,
film.
I think I know what you're going to talk about.
And I don't think any of the ones they tried to go, oh, remember that happened in the first. I don't think any of those worked at all.
Especially the one, was it Jill?
It just reminded you.
No,
of what you
Chris.
It just reminded me of a
done.
better film and the way it was done better.
Chris's death, where she gets dragged around the room.
That was awful.
The original, she was literally slid across the ceiling
Yeah,
and blood
yeah.
was everywhere.
Slowly dragged up the
This
And
is
this
just
one,
ping
it
pong,
was like
ping pong,
pinball,
bang. Yeah.
And then you didn't see any blood right till the end. The 3 slashes, they were okay.
And she wasn't even on the ceiling when he slashed her. She was
No.
sort of mid-air and then
Apart from
falling
that
back down.
above the stairs scene, for what was happening, there wasn't that much blood. I thought.
No,
Mm.
but then what? There wasn't. I mean, there was there was the geyser of blood from Johnny Depp, obviously.
That is my favourite death in the first one.
But it isn't gory. The first one, the original.
I know,
is
but
it?
it's visceral.
Yeah, it's visceral. It's visceral. Yeah, I get that.
And I think they mentioned that. Now, before we get on to my major points, which I think, as fans of of the original movies, you might agree with me on this. Any good points, fellas, that stand out for you as good points for this?
Stand out.
Yeah.
I know there are some. Now just bear with me.
Do you want me to press pause and record?
I like some of his puns. Some of them, they're not Freddy standard in my eyes, but I like that scene where she says, "Oh, I know I shouldn't like this scene," when she goes, "Fuck you," and he goes, "A bit too quick for me." I really like that. But And I agree with Gaz's point. He was an okay Freddy, but he was.
No, he was better than. That's not my point. Was he was better than an okay Freddy.
But in
He
terms
could have been a really great one, I thought, if he had a bit more.
Yeah.
to work with.
And I think if he had the original Freddy makeup, he could have acted in it a little bit more.
There was I enjoyed some of Freddy's lines. So a bit when I think it's Jesse goes, "Oh God," and then Freddy's behind him and he just goes, "No, just me." Love that. I don't. It's just all right.
I was just about to say that. There's
just
nothing that really stands out.
I watched it. I was like, "This is all right."
But it's okay.
But there's nothing here. What's the point? It's just all right. There's nothing that blew me away, and I'm sure we'll come on to the major change they made to the Freddy character.
I think we're both on the same page on this
Well,
one.
I hate it. I hate it.
ruined it.
I know it was Wes Craven's original idea.
Yeah, but I don't think it would have worked back then either.
No,
It wouldn't have been as I. We'll talk about that one in a bit. Now, any points we want to bring up before this major grievance, Gaz?
Are we moving on to grievances after this?
Well, I've been waiting 3 minutes and no one's come up with something good. Do you like?
That's a bit, yeah, good point.
No,
I think in my mind, Richard kind of took the words out of my mouth. It's all okay.
Okay.
It's all.
I'll admit, apart from some bits, it was better. It was better than
I
what I
have
thought
something.
it was going to be.
I-
Please.
I have something. The idea of micronap. I've got it here. The idea of micronaps.
The idea that it's an
The
actual
great
physical thing.
idea. I know, just the idea that how they could have built that into the film. Like he said, you don't even know when you're asleep. And that could have been really clever, but they introduced micronaps, and it doesn't really make sense how it works.
And then they abandoned it.
Yeah, they
They
don't.
abandoned it, yes. There was a couple of ideas they seem to have in that movie, the micronaps and a few others I'm going to get onto in a minute, which I don't know if you've picked up on, but you might have done. And they seem to just drop them like a...
They really took some time to go with this micronaps thing, and I like the way they went about it. An actual medical thing, great.
Yeah.
But then the scene where they're driving to the pharmacy, Quentin and Nancy, he takes adrenaline to stay awake.
And just goes... Just looks like he's having a orgasm out the window for 2 seconds. He's just injected how much adrenaline straight into his system.
Yeah. So he injects adrenaline, so he must be awake as hell.
Yeah.
But then he goes into the pharmacy, has a weird little dream sequence kind of thing. He sees Freddy and hits him. How can he see Freddy if he's
Who is sleeping in the car? This makes no sense.
Right here on my notes, my friend. Right
Sorry,
there.
can you say that again?
Who is sleeping in the car? This makes
no sense. So what we're talking about here?
God! Can I just say because when we're going to get to grievances, I've got like 12
I think
scenes
we've all
which
got a
really
lot.
offended me. But why?
I wanted a good section of this to be about how good some good parts.
How did Quentin and Nancy have? Why were they a thing? There was zero chemistry there. They had this kiss that was the most disturbing thing in the whole bloody film.
That's one of the most sincere parts of the film. I quite like that. I might sound sarcastic, but
there was a kiss.
Yes.
Yeah. Just before she went to sleep for like the final fight.
Yes, the final fight.
In that bed in that school. I think
Must have been great if I forgot it.
Oh no, I thought it was quite one of the most sincere parts.
Zero chemistry kiss. That's what I've called it.
Oh, come off it.
Yeah, that was the most disturbing bit of the whole film.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't.
Yes, it was. They had no chemistry. You never even thought before then, apart from the odd sideways glance, they were ever going to be a thing. And suddenly they kissed. I was like, oh, okay. Why do it? Why bother? They could just be great mates. We're going through this together. They don't have to be romantically linked.
You can't have great mates in a film. There has to be love interest.
It can be.
No.
Name one.
I was going to say that, but I thought to do it on the spot like that, see if he's struggling. Stop looking at your film collection.
I can't. I don't care. There was.
Did you keep the good film somewhere else?
Please.
Oh
Oh my god, yeah.
There must. I will think of one for the next time. But it doesn't matter.
I'm joking. Go on.
There was no need for that relationship. It added zero.
No, so I think it adds weight to.
I
the
think
final
it would
act
have
of the
been.
film.
I think.
But they already were great mates. They were in nursery together.
Yeah.
That was the point. They lived this life together.
I think Richard's got a point. The story is better if they were friends. I think.
There was no need.
Because I didn't see the kiss.
Well,
I forgot about it. Blanked it.
That's like almost at the climax of the film.
That was a bit rushed as well, wasn't it? When he came out, it was like 30 seconds and then a head cut.
Yeah, there was not a lot there. But no, for the ratings this film has got, it's much better than they give it credit for. But as we're about to discuss, it's got some awful moments.
Right. Do you want to discuss the major one, or shall I mention it first?
Okay, you do, Michael.
Okay, so right. Let me get this page out. Freddy Krueger is
Oh,
A
God.
killer. Cold-blooded, evil, demonic.
I
They
think
turned him into a full-on pedo for this movie.
Yeah.
In fact, before he died in the movie, he didn't even kill anyone. He wasn't a killer. And to me, that ruined Freddy for two reasons. One, it destroys some of his. Sounds weird calling him a pedo and saying he's a pedo. It destroys some of his demonicness. It makes him more earthly, which takes away from the legend of Freddy Krueger. And I think it really pushed away probably the majority of the fans of the original movies. And it also destroyed some of Freddy's lines in it because he had to act like that when he was tormenting the kids.
Strange choice because yeah, I know murder is bad, but in a film, murder's a common thing. But
This is where the podcast gets weird.
to go the route of being a child molester was so
It
strange.
was sort of originally what Wes Craven was going to do
I did
originally,
not know that.
but
But it's
Well,
too strange.
The reason he didn't, there must have been a reason he didn't go for it.
they think it wouldn't have. They think they wouldn't have got the censors for it.
No, because it really, you can't.
But it tainted every scene.
Yeah.
Because there were some really creepy, horrible scenes, like when he had Nancy on the bed and she had a little white dress on, and
We're going to talk about that.
this- Oh,
What I,
That was
do,
always my favourite.
yeah,
what I don't
horrible.
understand.
I want my child killer back. I don't want
watching
this guy.
watching the film, it's initially insinuated that he is a child molester, but then in a scene in the middle of the film, they talk to Clancy Brown, and they have a go at him because they're like, "No, you're wrong. He wasn't. We were kids. We lied about that." So then
No.
he's
He
not
said we could have lied about
Yeah,
that.
we could have. So yeah, it's kind of setting up.
That was pointless.
Yeah.
It's kind of
Because-
setting up that he's just not a child molester,
Yeah.
but then he just goes straight back to
I
it.
think there was like more. I think there was going to be more to that, and then they realised that they were going to make it look like he was innocent, then not. I think to me something was missing from that story arc.
It was like 2/3 through. He said, "Oh, maybe we just lied." I'm like, I don't know
Well,
what's.
because she said we were kids, we could have lied.
Yeah.
And that sort of makes you think, oh, maybe he's not a child molester then.
And because I hadn't watched this remake since 2010 when I bought it on DVD for no particular reason, I thought, did this end with him actually not being a child molester? But then they find all the pictures.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
yeah.
well, there was no point to that then, was there?
And the fact that they don't actually show you what's on the pictures really sort of hammers it home.
But the thing is, with Freddy, he was a child killer, the original Freddy.
Yeah, yeah.
And to me, it was the ultimate evil, destroying the purest of the pure, killing a child, and that's what he was. In this, he's just a sex pest.
Yeah.
That sounds.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's any
He's a sex
better.
pest.
I'm saying he's a sex pest. It destroyed the otherworldly demonicness of Freddy. I think it made him more down to earth and just creepy instead of evil on that
Yeah.
one.
So yeah, so that is definitely the big kind of turning point of the film, isn't it? What they did with the character.
And I think
Fred
it's why they
Krueger.
lost so many of the original fans. The people that loved Freddy, as in, come on, how many tattoos have you seen of Freddy on someone's leg or
Oh,
I
arm?
God,
don't
yeah,
see
yeah.
any of this, Freddy. On any
Not a
picture,
chance.
I've got them.
Obviously.
Right on my chest, next to my heart. I think they could have saved that movie if they'd done that. I'm not saying the film would have been 10 times better, but I think there would have been a sequel if they hadn't have done that. I really do.
I watched the film yesterday, and until you just said it, it never actually occurred to me that he doesn't actually kill anyone until he's
Until he's dead.
yeah.
Until he's dead,
And
yeah.
that never came to me.
But that's the thing I've got here, that if this had been the opening to a franchise, Freddy was so seedy and so gross, it would have never had a sequel.
No, not a chance. If
If
this,
someone wants to see this,
If this was the first, if there was no other nightmares
No one
before
wants
it,
to
and
see
this was the
this
first
guy
film, yeah.
anymore.
it would have been a
Tremendous.
standalone. Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
mean-
think everyone understands that.
So, final thoughts on the movie before I go into something I want you to think about. What I saw in there, that there was a point in this movie, right, and I went, wow, this is going to be brilliant. I can see where they're going here. This is fantastic. What a direction to take it. And then they'd never done anything with it. But before I get on to that, what's your final thoughts?
Final thoughts. I actually missed something I liked. Two things I liked.
Yeah.
I didn't mind the final fight. It was quick, which I've got. It's very quick.
Very quick, I
Very
thought.
quick. There was no shaky cam, which there was earlier in the film, which really.
Yes.
Oh, shaky cam. Why?
It's 2010s, mate.
Finally,
Got
Nancy
shaky cam.
decides to grow a set, because if you remember Heather in the first film,
Heather
she
Lange,
was
yeah.
a proper heroine, and she was fantastic all the way through.
But don't think that's a good thing about the ending. I missed the ingenuity of the ending of the original
Yeah,
Home
it's
Street
like-
where
it
she
was
done all the
almost like Home
traps.
Alone, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
Home Alone
An
for it.
adult Home Alone. But this time, she didn't actually front up to Freddy until right to the end, and I was like, my main grievance with the original Nightmare is that I don't like the end at all, because it just looks bad.
No,
Are you on about through the door?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. But one of the best scenes I thought of this new one was the new version of that in the mirror.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I thought
that
it
was
was
good.
brilliant.
Yeah.
That ending was decent, and I loved how they followed it with the music.
Yeah.
That was the best
Yeah.
part.
Yeah.
That was the best part. And I just put, there is no point to this film apart from it has a better ending. So maybe they should just stick that ending onto the end of the original and forget this ever existed. Thank you.
Because it was quite that original. The end scene was quite good in that they got into the car with Freddy covered top,
Yeah, that was okay.
drove off, and then
But there's like
Yes,
three
but
versions, isn't there?
Yeah.
And then
is there? Oh,
yeah, and for some reason he's like an inflatable doll and pulled it through that
Through the
window.
Yeah.
window.
Well,
It was terrible.
I
And-
wondered how much you could do that scene at the time with the special
Me personally,
Just don't do
I
it.
always hate them last scenes. It worked in Friday the 13th. It worked in, what was the one from the grave? Carrie. But
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot try and do it and a lot fail. The original Freddy failed on it, I think. But this new one, I liked it through the window.
Yeah.
It was fast, it was brutal. Obviously designed for 3D, but they didn't
Exactly.
use it again. But the way it just came out, the Freddy's hand came through the mirror, through her eyes, pulled them back in, and then the mirror's back to normal, and
Probably the
she's
best
just
kill of
standing
film,
there.
to be fair.
It
Probably
is.
the best kill of film.
the end, her mum at the end.
Yeah.
Oh, you
Yeah.
you just
But wait a
answered
minute,
my.
is she dreaming at the end then, Nancy?
Well, you'd assume.
She's got to be, because
Yeah.
Freddy's... Well, then is she? Because Freddy's out of the dream world now. And don't forget, in the original Freddy 2, they ignored all the rules.
Can Freddy traverse both worlds then at will?
Well, he can in the second Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if she,
Oh, that's just
if
messed
she,
up that ending. Is she dreaming there?
if she pulls him into the real world at the end and they kill him, or they think they kill him,
Yeah.
and then he gets her mum at the end. So we're
She's
assuming he
pulled
can traverse.
him into the real world, hasn't she?
Yeah.
But he wasn't in the real world at the end. He was in the mirror, like as almost like a
Yeah,
dream.
yeah.
Well, he came. Well, he
But what if
came
he,
out of the mirror.
what if he
and
can
took her
go
into
in
the-
and out now?
Yeah, maybe he can.
But
We'll
don't
never know
forget-
because there won't be a sequel.
In the next ones, the other ones, they ignored that bit in the other one anyway.
Yeah,
didn't
that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of them scenes do get ignored in the next movies.
To answer my question, because I was just going to have a quick okay, if you had a favourite kill,
But I didn't think about
what
that,
was it?
if it was a dream or not.
Yeah.
My favourite kill was the end, if it was real or not. I just thought it was the best utilised one.
Yeah, I'd probably go with that, or the one with the chap where he tells him he's going to kill him for 6 minutes and like play with him for 6 minutes. That
Yeah, but it's not actually a kill, is
well,
it?
the
though?
kill was the one through the chest.
But he was
In
still
the prison
alive.
cell.
Oh no, his brain was still
Yeah,
alive.
the
Yeah.
prison
Sorry,
cell.
yeah.
But I did think about that one. In the original, they had the prison cell where you had the bits of cloth
looked like he'd hung
slowly
himself.
going around its neck.
It looked like
Yeah.
Full of tension, whereas
Yeah,
this one's
yeah.
zero tension. Which is kind of what I had throughout the whole film. I wasn't tense at all. I was never tense.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
The scenes they try and mimic from the first one, whether they're paying homage or just ripping off, they just don't do it.
And there's that fantastic scene in the. We shouldn't keep comparing it to the
It's a
original.
remake. We're
Well,
allowed
of course
to.
You've
you're
got to
going
compare it to the original.
There's the scene where
They did.
the one who gets dragged on the ceiling, she's called
Chris.
Chris in this one. In the original film, before all that happens, she goes outside and she's a goat for some reason. I'm never sure why that happens. But you've got Freddy.
I forgot about the random
You
goal.
got Freddy, and he has those long arms. He's
Yeah.
doing this.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't work, and you
But it
should
does.
think that's age, but it's so weird
Yeah.
and freaky. And she just goes, then that's where I think they get the "Oh God" line, because she goes, "Oh God," and he goes, "This is God," and he cuts a bit of his fingers off, and it's just hell. It's so freaky, and he's got like maggots, and it's just fantastic. And they didn't do that scene. She just went back into the house and got dragged around the room. Where was that scene?
That's another.
If you're gonna ape so much, and they could have. I don't know if they said they were gonna make this try and be slightly different. I don't know. I mean, they made massive differences with Freddy.
They said
but
it was going to be a reimagining.
Yeah, they aped so many other scenes. Take the best scenes and make them again if you want to. I don't mind seeing them again, slightly updated. I don't want to see a scene which is worse. No point.
No.
You mentioned earlier about the little Freddy quips, the little one-liners, the classic thing for around that sort of time. Did they try and make this film slightly more, let's say, realistic?
They wanted to go for the dark. Don't forget the
Darker,
first.
that's what
they
I'm going
wanted
for,
to
yeah.
let it.
Didn't we, back
It was
in
only the
before?
later ones that had the major puns in.
Yeah.
The beginning was
Exactly.
there was
'Cause
the beginning was more taunts,
Yeah.
not puns.
That's why I suggested you watch the original, because it is quite different from the sequels. If you've watched the sequels, I sometimes I watch Dream Warriors a lot more than probably the original, because it's fast paced, it's exciting, it's funny, but actually not that scary. If you go back to the first one,
Is that one with Jar Jar Gabor at the beginning and it gets killed on the TV? Or is that the next one? Is that Dream Child? I forget.
I don't know. It's the primetime bitch, and the one where he gets that guy with his
Primetime
veins
bitch.
out and like plays him like a puppet.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
it's-
was a great scene.
But that whole film is such a fun ride, and it has Alice Cooper with a theme tune at the end. It's
Oh,
brilliant, and I like that. That's probably my favourite Nightmare film. But if I actually go back to the first one, that's the scariest. The only other really scary one that I find scary is probably Seven.
New Nightmare.
Yeah, now that is really
Fantastic
scary.
film.
Yeah, that is really scary.
Although I haven't seen it since it came out, so I might revisit that one.
But and so you've got to compare this one to how they made that first one was an actual scary film. This one was trying to be scary, but it just was nothing.
But the first one was scary and Freddy was frightening, but there was an element of comedy to him.
I don't know about
In the
more of
first
an
one?
evil jesterish, maybe in some of the
in
bits.
a way, but it was still kind of like, oh damn, it's Freddy, but also kind of like tee.
I think that was more to Robert England's credit again.
I think that also might be skewed by the fact he's such an icon now.
Yeah.
You've got to think, you sat in the cinema in 1981, was it, when the first one came out?
I didn't. I was probably sitting in my pram.
I wasn't anywhere.
Well, I was in my dad's eye that he was thinking about 3 years ago. But if you sat in the cinema in 81, if it was 81,
Yeah.
I think it's 84 actually, but whatever year, it doesn't matter.
Someone's going to
If you
crucify
were
us,
sat
right?
in the cinema and you'd never seen Freddy Krueger and you sat there, you would be scared by him. You
Absolutely.
might find him slightly funny in a weird way, but I think all of our opinions of him have been skewed
by the
by
later
him now
ones.
becoming a cultural icon. So much that you can
Well,
buy
look at that, Freddy's
a Freddy
bloody dead.
Krueger glove in child size. So you can buy a child killer's glove in child size.
Yeah, why not?
That's how ridiculous it's become.
I remember, just offshooting slightly, I remember a car boot I went to years ago, and someone had, they must have made it themselves, a Freddy Krueger kind of knife glove. They wouldn't let me buy it because I wasn't over 18.
But that's why I think Wes Craven went back and did the seventh
Probably
one.
a good reason.
Probably
for it,
with
yeah.
good reason, but at the time I was gutted.
But going back to how Freddy looks, Wes Craven did the seventh one to make Freddy scary again, and he changed the look of Freddy in that one
Yes.
slightly, and it was much better than this.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks fantastic in that one. Use that one, you know. He was still recognisable as Freddy, but he changed him slightly to make him more realistic. Do it more like that.
I keep saying this film's better than it is, or people say it is, but I'm really not giving any good points for it.
I was going to make the same comment about that. I think it's better. It was better than I thought it was going to be, but I'm still not giving it many good points.
No, it's definitely watchable, but
Yes, it's watchable.
and that's the problem. I think
It's watchable, and it's like
To be honest, I would have been quite happy if it wasn't for this. I wouldn't have watched that. Well, really wouldn't have done.
Yeah. So it's watchable, and you can't have a go at it too much. So last night I sat down to watch. I don't either of you seen it. 47 meters down. I couldn't get past the first 20 minutes. I was bored and looking at my phone. I wasn't in this one. I sat through it all. I watched it all. Maybe because I was paying attention for this podcast, but it was watchable. So you can't. It's not in the class of that film.
Now, I've got a little thing I picked up on this movie, and it seemed like it was going to go somewhere out of the blue. The very end, right? You're having a flashback sequence, not a dream sequence, a flashback sequence,
Yeah.
where Nancy is drawing in the cave with blood and laughing with Freddy.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to pan down and there was going to be a body there, and Nancy suddenly remembers she helped them at some point. And that was going to be the relationship between Nancy and Freddy. And then he just lost it because that looked like blood she was painting on the walls, didn't it? And she was laughing around with, yeah.
Maybe that might have been.
That would have changed the dynamic so
That might
much.
have been a idea they had, and they had. You never know. There
And
might
they
be
just
some.
scrapped
There'll
it,
probably be
yeah.
some 3-hour cuts somewhere in this film. There is for every film these days, isn't there?
But I thought that was going to be...
Yeah,
and
why
the
was that blood? Yeah, because she was drawing that picture of a stick man, didn't she?
Yeah, with
And
blood.
It was blood.
Yeah.
Definitely was blood.
And I thought that was going to get her memories.
Well, and it wasn't definitely blood, but it was. I think it should.
Was it supposed to be implied that it was?
Implied, yeah.
Yeah.
I think.
Was it?
Why would they choose that colour? And why would
It's
they?
a cave painting, and cave paintings were in red.
And she's the only one they showed in the cave with him. And the
Because he was her
pictures.
favourite.
Yeah. I thought that was going to change the dynamic and she was going to remember and then
That would
maybe
have been
help him
good,
at the end or
yeah.
something, or pick up the glove and they were going to go the direction of a female dream killer.
Imagine if they'd done that. Oh.
I tell you, the other scene, I really didn't get. I think it's Quentin had a dream.
You're about to say what I think you're about to
Quentin
say.
had
Yeah.
a dream of how Freddy died.
It was a flashback.
Yeah.
Why was he having a
How-
dream?
yeah,
No,
did he ever-
Freddy was showing him the dream.
But how did
Why?
he do that, though?
I think Freddy was trying to. That's part of the bit where you think they were saying he was innocent. I think Freddy was trying to show him snippets that made him look innocent
okay,
and
But why would he
Sympa-
care? Why would Freddy want him to?
sympathy, so he could go get him to sleep. Maybe I don't know.
He was asleep.
I think it was just a way to show the flashback
But
scene.
yeah, I know it was, but just show a flashback scene.
And
Well,
then,
they could have done that from the mum's
what a
point
waste of
view.
Clancy Brown in all of that as well.
Yeah, poor Clancy Brown.
But that scene,
The curtain.
that scene just made the parents. I know the parents weren't exactly nice in the first one because they still killed someone.
Yeah, yeah.
They look like total, just horrendous people.
Yeah, there was the first one they put you on the side of the parents. They showed you how they could get to that point.
Yeah.
This one just looked like he's done what? Let's kill him.
It's because Heather Langenkamp's mum drank heavily in the first one.
Yeah.
She was clearly
Tortured
totally
by.
tortured by it still. These guys, and Quentin, I shouldn't get too animated. Quentin, at one point says to them, have you got any evidence? Doesn't he? I know we've already been through this scene.
Yeah, it's
Have you
alright.
got any evidence? And they both looked at him like, not really. I'm like, well, so you kill someone with no evidence. You kill someone literally on the words of children. Okay, it was proved to be true. But those parents didn't actually know, which makes them look awful human beings.
But
Yeah.
I think there's a crucial line that Clancy Brown, thankfully, says in that flashback, and it's Nancy's mum sort of protesting, and
Yeah.
Clancy's like, "Would you rather have your child go through that
In court, yeah.
in court in front of all those people, or would you rather end it now?"
Look at that again. Clancy Brown saves
Say
the movie.
That I thought was
What a
really
legend.
good. Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. See, that's a good bit of the film.
But that scene, also there's another great bit of the film, that scene when he comes out of the door covered in flames. Great stunt work. But
I
they
think-
ruin it because they had the CGI face of Freddy come towards the screen like
Oh,
burning
yeah,
up.
that's true,
I'm like,
yeah,
no,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
ruined.
I used to think Darkman was the worst movie with someone getting shot out of a building in flames. One of my favourite movies of all time, by the way. But now this one takes that mantle, which is good because it makes Darkman look even better.
But I'm glad, apart from that CGI bit, the face, the whole thing,
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad they did a practical fire stunt, like in the first one, still. And I'm glad they did it that way rather than let's just throw some computer flames on him.
But why do the CGI face at the end? I can tell we're getting
Just to add more.
we're getting annoyed by this film.
We already were at the start. We already were after we watched it.
Funny enough, two of us said though it was better than we thought it was going to be, but at the same time we had a lot of issues with it.
When you look at the ratings it's been given, it's almost like it's the worst film ever.
Well,
It's not.
it's currently sitting at a 5.2 in IMDb, but Rotten Tomatoes, the critics have it at a 15%,
Okay.
but for some reason the audience has it at a 43.
I think I'll agree with that.
Well, I remember when this came out, and I'm thinking I'm remembering this right. I went to see it, and a couple of my mates who weren't massive Freddy fans like I was actually texted me and went, "Hey, that was all right. That was quite scary." I was like, "Oh, you don't know, do you?"
Philistines.
Well, that's the point. If someone's
Maybe we should show this to someone who never has seen a Nightmare on Elm Street film and see what they think.
That's the thing. We're going in. All of us have said that the main problem is turning Freddy into that kind of character,
Yeah.
and that's what I think that's tainted a lot of other things for us. Maybe.
The scenes that weren't as good as the original. Freddy's not as good as the original. The music's not as good as the original.
Well, the music is practically
but
non-existent.
if maybe
I only
someone-
remember that couple of seconds in the opening section. To be
Yeah,
honest.
that's it. Yeah.
But-
I don't remember Freddy's theme in this one.
No, it wasn't there. They made it stranger and rubbish. But maybe if we hadn't got this in our heads, this Wes Craven masterpiece, and we watched this, maybe it would be okay.
I don't see a problem going into a remake and judging it from the original.
No.
If they're going to remake good movies, they need to stick to a standard of that good movie.
They've obviously gone, we can do that. We can do a better version of that. Let's do it.
I
No.
don't think it's impossible.
Well, that sort of goes around. If you're going to remake a film that's of such a high standard by the community,
Well,
is it
look-
worth remaking it?
Look at the only good remakes, right? You've got
The Thing.
yes,
Oh,
but
yeah.
that's totally different. It's not a remake. It's a bit more based on the book and updated. It's not like a remake of a thing from another world. You've also got Scarface, which was a total reimagining again,
Yeah.
not just hardly anything to do with the original.
I really like the Dawn of the Dead remake.
That was not a mistake in the recording. That was complete silence from both other members of the
The
I
party.
like the Dawn of the Dead remake.
The views
guys.
of Richard are not shared by everyone else at this
You
table.
like the Dawn of the Dead remake?
I'd have to watch it.
It's got its bonuses, but they run.
Oh, I have to. I hate running zombies because it's physically not.
It's
possible.
got Matt Hewitt in it, and I
That's
love
a
it.
different conversation altogether. Zombies and whether they should
running
run,
zombies. We
walk,
could have a
or-
7-hour conversation.
Oh,
on running
wow.
zombies. And
Brilliant.
It's just actually not possible because their bodies are decomposing. Anyway,
Oh boy, that's a
Oh, boy.
completely different conversation for another time.
yeah. Any other good remakes? I can't think of any. off the top of my head.
No, the ones that are good, I find totally not ignore, but don't try and remake. They,
Yeah.
they literally do their own thing and take a few premises from it and carry on to a totally different story. Thing from Another World, The Thing, both great movies.
How about recently
It went straight back to the source material. One was a TV program,
Yeah,
one's
that's
a
true.
movie. Are they remaking it, or are they?
I'd say
Just-
it's more of a reimagining, isn't it?
Well, I'd say it's gone back more to the source material again.
Well, the TV show was mostly the source material, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Apart from the whole
I don't
weird
think
other world thing again.
I don't think they're remaking the TV show. I think they're redoing the book again,
Yeah,
maybe. But then again, the jury's still out on it. Remember, we need part 2.
that's true. Yeah, yeah.
It's true.
But the first,
But I did rewatch that recently, and I'm not going to go on. But when Pennywise keeps coming towards the camera and shaking, that quite annoyed me when I watched it again.
Yeah, shaky cam's not the best, and I don't normally go for jump scares, but the bit inside the garage did make me jump.
Oh, that was good.
That was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had its own twist to
I
that.
remember you in the cinema. I think you kicked someone's seat because of that.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Brilliant. So, closing comments for A Nightmare on Elm Street 2010 remake.
Okay. Are we doing like a rating system? Is it going to be out of 10, or
I-
are we just literally
I hate
saying,
rating systems.
Well, I know you hate ratings. So I'm going to just go to my closing comments on my
do it.
list because
Absolutely.
I could try it.
That's why you wrote it down.
One other thing I liked.
This is part of the closing comments.
Yeah, it's part of the closing comic. The wet dream scene when she's in the corridor, it's filled with blood. It uses a line that I think he uses in the third one,
Yes.
where the guy gets trapped in the waterbed. How's that for a wet dream? But
Oh,
that
yeah.
scene in the corridor is really good.
Yes, that is
It's
a good
practical
scene.
effects, and then they ruin it because she falls on the bed and there's all CGI blood above her.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
And
the other
which was
one.
again was trying to copy the Johnny Depp scene, was paying homage to it, not copy
That
it.
is
Paying
my
homage to it.
favourite scene.
Because
the
that
first
scene, Johnny Depp scene, where was that? That character wasn't even in it. That cool.
I
Johnny
think that's
Depp-
what Thomas
what Quentin was supposed to do,
No, I
weren't
think
he?
it was Thomas Hecker
one.
was supposed to do that
Was
one.
Jesse's
No.
It's
I've got it down here. Jesse, I've put
was supposed to be Rod.
Rod. So he's the one.
But the best thing
he's the one who was accused of killing Chris. So he's Rod, and then Quentin was the Johnny Depp character, but
Yeah,
he
I
wasn't
saw that,
really.
yeah.
He was called a different name, but he kind of replaced him.
Yeah.
Didn't make any sense because he died really quite early in the original,
Mhm.
and I think he was still alive at the end of this one, wasn't he? Yeah.
Quentin is no. Yes, he was in the hospital because he got stabbed in the. Well, I thought it was the neck, but apparently it wasn't. It
And
might have
then
been the
slashed across
shoulder.
there,
He got
didn't he?
slashed across the chest, stabbed in. I'm presuming it's the shoulder.
Yeah, but don't forget, in the movies, the shoulder, you can get shot and
That's
you're
true,
alright
yeah.
the next day.
But then at the end, he's in the hospital and he's fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, closing
Go,
comments.
go on for the more realistic one.
I think I did at the end put unkillable Quentin, so that's good.
Right, closing comments. In summary, the film was too glossy looking. It was never scary to me apart from maybe one bit where I jumped. It was a jump scare when he was in the cupboard and he went boo. But I was like, oh, it's so obvious. Forget it, it's not actually scary. Freddy was so seedy and gross. As I said, if this
In
had
the
been-
wrong way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if this had been the opening to a franchise, it would have never had 6 sequels in a million years. Nancy is just okay. She's just okay, but she isn't really a heroine. And she's not yet she's not yet
She's not an everyday person,
Everyday
yeah.
girl. She's not. I don't even think Nancy in the original was the girl next door. Because she wasn't the one you lusted after, Nancy, was she? She had a weird perm and slightly gappy teeth.
Please.
But that's what made her grounded. She
Richard honestly looks like a very young, fit Brad Pitt here.
No, I'm not having to go about how she looked.
Nice. Well,
She wasn't. She just wasn't Nancy, was she? And the whole.
The Nancy in the original, you recognise Nancy. Rooney Mara in this looked very plain.
Yeah.
As in, not looks-wise, but the character was very plain.
Well, I'm pretty sure I've seen her in other films. And I'd
You might have
forgotten
seen
she
her
was
sister
in-
more,
I've
to be
forgotten
honest.
she was in this.
The girl with the dragon tattoo remake she was
Oh,
in.
yeah.
She played Elizabeth.
And I'm not going to say she's a bad actress because she's not, but she's not Nancy.
She's better than the two
You could
sisters.
tell she didn't enjoy making this movie.
And they changed a lot of the characters, so why not call her something different as well? Because she's not Nancy, is she?
Yeah.
So yeah, mostly forgettable cast, unfortunately. Lack of iconic kills. What copied ones are worse
It was
than
only
the
like,
original.
was there 6 kills maybe of that?
if that,
I
yeah.
don't know. It was filmed well enough. It's watchable, but a closing comment from me: there is simply no point to this film apart from that slightly better ending. But that, come on, throw
That's a
away.
jump scene at the end, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
not
a
part of the main
throwaway
story,
ending.
really.
There's simply no point to remake
If that
it.
got a sequel, that scene would be ignored.
I don't know why I own this, because I love Wes Craven, and to be honest, this is spitting on the name of the original. I've given it a 5 out of 10 here, but I've got so cross over the last hour, I'm going to give it a 3.
Well, Did you know Wes Craven wasn't even consulted about this movie?
And he was angry that they made it. The only person that said, Robert Englund said, yeah, go on, have a go. Wes Craven was so cross, he didn't mind them making Last House on the Left again.
Because he had some
Because he
input
had
on it.
something to do with it. He had nothing to do with this. I don't think they barely asked him.
They never asked him anything to do with
They
this.
can just go away.
You know when they say Robert Englund said, yeah, go on, go for it? I always imagine someone just asking him, do you reckon they should make another one? Yeah, why not? And that's it, just an off the cuff.
Was it more of, finally they'll talk to someone else about this role? Even though Robert Englund does seem like he enjoys the role and he's always embraced it.
I know, he loves being Freddy, doesn't he? I mean, come on. Anyway, closing comments. We could talk forever, I think,
Gaz?
about this.
I'll say it just one more time. This film is better than the ratings suggest.
Okay.
What, it's better than a 9.9 out of 10 by the Daily Star?
Who was that reviewer?
We should really find
Was
out.
it? I think it was that. I think I know who it was. I'm going to look it up.
It's better than the reviews suggest. Has a lot of promise to begin with. I think at the time all the characters or all the actors were, well, not all of them, the majority are relatively unknown to a little known.
Yeah, obviously that Chris, she's gone on to Arrow.
Yeah, I like that because
Thomas Deckersby, he done Sarah Connor Chronicles
that's
and a
right,
few
yeah.
others.
So I like that at the time they tried to sort of bring a fresh cast in. Maybe there's a few decent scenes, but a lot of it is trying to pay homage to the original and failing, and that what they do with Freddy's character is destroyed me as well as him.
So have you got a rating? You're not.
I don't like ratings, but I will give it a 6 out of 10.
Okay.
6 out of 10. What did you give it?
3. 'Cause I got so
6.
cross
That's
in my
high.
closing
That's very
comments.
high for me.
When I started my closing comments, I was going to give it a 5, but I got so cross. By the end, I gave it a 3.
All I'm going to say is I agree with all the points, and especially about making Freddy into that ruined it for me. It lost its iconicness. The people went into this with good intentions, and again, it was just too much. I think good intentions, but I think they were all hired for a job in the end. So my closing comment is, what the fuck was the point of that one? I don't know.
I'm glad that the cast have gone on to do other better
yeah.
things because they are a good cast.
Yes.
It hasn't ruined anyone's career, has it? I don't know.
Not even Kellen Lutz, the guy at the beginning at the beginning. No, he's gone on to do other things as well.
Has a director done anything?
No, since then he hasn't done. He's done a few more music videos, good ones, but he hasn't done another feature film. I think he might have been the major casualty out of this one, guys.
Oh.
But then he's gone back to, if he has gone back to doing what he did originally.
But he was waiting for 20 years to make his first
True,
feature
yeah.
debut.
Condolences to Mr. Bayer. I
Yeah,
guess.
I'm looking at Rip.
Maybe I should give him a 4. No,
It's not going to save his career now.
No,
is it?
not now. It's too late.
It's too late.
So like, well, I think with what he had, the directing was good. I just don't think I think he was a director for hire, a writer for hire, maybe. Again, obviously the money was there given to them to make money. That was the only reason they got the money. I think some people went in with good intentions, but I just don't think it went together. And they ruined Freddy. They just turned him into a creepy little pedo.
What a budget! The budget was like 35 million or something like that.
Yeah, it's the seventh. It's one of the most profitable slasher movies.
It's the second highest grossing Nightmare.
And it's like the seventh
This
most
is
highest.
2010 one is.
It's like the seventh highest slasher film.
And that's after the original one. The original the highest grossing, and then this was the second.
I don't know because the
Or Mighty
Scream
Dream
ones went in quite high as well. Scream.
But I know this was definitely no. But in terms of
Again, Wes Craven, classic.
Nightmare films, this was the second highest grossing Nightmare film. Definitely, I know that. Which shows why they made it.
Third highest grossing.
No, second highest grossing.
I was saying.
Oh, that bit. Second highest grossing Nightmare film.
Okay, yeah.
So, which is why they made it.
That shocks me a little bit then.
Yeah, that's answered me and Michael's question. Why they do it? There you
Money.
go. There you go.
Money.
Well, no, but normally even if a film's bad, but it makes a lot of money back, they normally tend to go on and do a sequel. But they haven't done that this
Well,
time.
that's because it came out. Everyone went to see it probably first weekend, second weekend. Critically panned. Everyone came out of the cinema saying.
Actually, I honestly think it was because of the creepy sex thing, the pedo thing.
Yeah.
I think they
switched on a lot of
realised
people,
we can't make sequels and have this guy. Because let's face it, Freddy did become sort of an anti-hero in all these movies.
Yeah.
You couldn't make a character like that as an anti-hero or someone you could read to.
He could never become the Freddy in the second. Well, not the second.
No.
The third, fourth, and fifth one. He could never become that guy.
No, it's
He'd
not so-
always be this
Creepy
creepy
sex.
little sex pest.
Yeah.
Especially in this time
You
period
can't
we're
make a
in now.
lovable sex pest.
No, in this time
That
period
would
now,
be
it's
so
an untouchable
That
subject.
would be so controversial.
Ironically, it's an untouchable subject.
Yes. You can't
Boom.
make a lovable child killer.
Please feel free to cut that awful joke.
Nope, it's going in.
Yes.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of today's podcast where we talked about A Nightmare on Elm Street 2010 remake.
Well, a lot longer than I thought we would.
Well, 1 hour 5 minutes.
That's good. I think that's pretty good. Yeah.
It will probably be down to 30 minutes by the time you listen to this.
So goodbye.
Bye.